All right, YouTube, we back. We are live. It's your boy Zulu Gullah. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Here we go. Long overdue. Long overdue. This one right here. Uh, everybody has had their version of this stream years before me. I mean, it was a given with me personally, but since I'm giving the raw and uncut, the real, we should leave no subject unturned. As they say, we should refold the deck. But the polish is going to be way more polished than what you have been getting. So let's go in. All right. What you guys are dealing with out here is a complete disaster. You understand what I'm saying? There is no other way to put it. I would like to continue to emphasize that these dating coaches and content creators and society has created a disaster zone for you to destroy yourself in if you partake in it, if you proceed according to their way of doing things and not in a way that is beneficial to you, if you're not utilizing the tools that I offer and also expanding upon that and or developing your own method. You are in a cesspool. There's no other way to put it. Even your religious guys won't even tell you that. You are in a cesspool. There is no going into the cesspool and pulling out diamonds. It's not possible. Okay? And I don't know why these guys just won't tell y'all. I really don't know. This is no incel shit. This is no hate women shit. This is no hopeless shit. What you have to deal with in trying to be heterosexual, possibly find a helpmate in America and similar societies, you are dealing with a cesspool. This is what this is. And all these things that I have listed in this title is just a few of many things that make up the cesspool, right? But what I want to explain to y'all when I break each of them down, when I break the single mother down, when I break some widows down, not all widows, but some, when I break divorcees down and poly women, when I break all this down, you will be able to identify, recognize it as soon as you see it as you go about. Because you probably couldn't see it before, or you didn't think nothing of it because it felt like it was normal. It was part of your reality. It was presented to you in a way to where you didn't have to really look into it and see what it is, what it really is. Okay, but let's just deal with the single mother, right? The single mother, if not separated by the other parent by death, just like in marriage related to the widow, there should be no single mothers occurring unless the father perished through death. Same for the widow. Uh, those two things kind of go hand in hand. And then there should be no such thing as a divorcee. Again, a wife should only part with her husband through death. Are y'all following me, right? Okay. And nobody needs to get killed or nothing like that. I'm just saying something tragic happens and a person loses their life or natural occurrences. Nothing from the efforts of somebody else of an egregious act. Nothing like that. Okay, let's keep that in mind. That is of the utmost importance. So we don't want no streams flagged for no encouragement to do anybody bodily harm. Uh, but getting into it, right? You may have that one rare single mother who's worthy of a second chance. But with the ever increasing epidemic of single mothers, and then when you see single mothers speak out so outlandishly in the media, in open forums, on social media, um, and you see that they are not trying to recover, trying to restore some type of honor, trying to find the covering of a man in total submission, and you just continuously watch the nonsense surrounding single mothers. Uh, I can't even I can't even get into even stomaching like looking at news feeds or context about them anymore. Especially when you start seeing that six, seven, 8 kids, like just kids past two, the number of kids past two. It's just like, what in the world? Like, what is it to talk about? You know what I'm saying? This woman is on kid number 3 plus. I mean, there's nothing to talk about. Baby daddy number anything after baby daddy number two, baby daddy number two, and past two kids is like you're talking to. You must be talking to Satan. Like I just don't get you guys. Uh, in the way that you classify single mothers, I classify them way different. I got extreme classifications for them. Extreme classifications, right? I dealt with a single mother from age 21 to 23 years old. Her child's father got killed in the streets. And I saved this woman and her kid's life, took them out of the projects and everything. And this woman was not loyal to me, was not submissive to me, and cheated various times. Me being young as I was, I tolerated it up to a certain point. I eventually broke the relationship off, and that lady had a fit. I almost got us locked up on some domestic shit because I just wanted to leave, didn't want to be with her no more because I was tired of her shit. One of the most ungrateful, disloyal, conniving creatures I ever met. Probably one of the worst girlfriends I ever had. Pretty much. Now, I've had some bad girlfriends, but she's at the top of the list. Um, and after her, I never did date a single mother that had a kid that was of certain age. Like the kids usually had to be able to fend for themselves. Most of them were teenagers and up. I just really didn't deal with them like that. I had my experience early on doing a good deed, way above past my well, way before my time was even. I should have even been dealing with that. Um, and I knew way back when that I would never deal with a single mother with a young kid who depended upon her. Like the kids had to be able to do whatever they needed to do without her. Um, and that's just the way I roll. Because another thing was, if she couldn't spend time with me, if she was tied up, if a woman had kids and she was tied up and couldn't spend time with me, she had nothing coming. We could not proceed at all because part of her establishing herself with me is she has to be able to have time for me. If she doesn't have time for me, she can't prove anything to me, do anything for me, and make an impact on me. But instead of just dealing with explanation of the pros and cons of a single mother, man, you're just dealing with an epidemic. dealing with an epidemic, and that's enough said. I mean, we can talk about them being a liability versus an asset, the baggage and stuff like that. But we're in epidemic proportions, and yeah, guys are campaigning against them and stuff like that. At this point, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. What I find is that you still got some guys that want to say that, well, y'all using this, y'all just thumbing through or passing the single mothers around. Well, I mean, most guys are probably. I'm not really one of those guys, but again, we're dealing with a cesspool and epidemics, so it's gonna happen. There's nothing to say about that. And these single mothers will still be increasing. They're not slowing down no time soon. They're not getting right. Um, moving right along, divorcees. This is the no-brainer of no-brainers. We know women initiate divorces at a high percent, well over half. So you're talking about 70, 80%, depending upon the types of women. College educated women have like a what, 80, 90% divorce rate. Black women are running about 80% divorce rate. Uh, divorced women who initiate, especially divorced women who initiate their own divorce, don't deserve anything. And biblically, a woman is not allowed to divorce her husband. The rest of her life is adultery. And I'm telling you, that's why a lot of you guys is getting bad luck. Now, like I said, I'm not religious. I do respect and reference the scripture because I know a lot of it is based upon natural order and karma and retribution is part of natural order as well. So when you participate in certain behaviors and curses, they will affect you. Divorce, women who initiated their own divorce, not in the event of abuse or risk of death or bodily injury, but just they have differences and change of hearts and all the stupid stuff. You know, the stuff that's the stuff I'm talking about. You need to avoid those women because those women are going to do the same thing to every guy they come in contact with. They're going to cling on, hang on for a while, and then cause a disruption, and disaster will soon follow at the expense of you. That's what's going to happen, right? You that's common sense. I don't even like. Well, if a woman tell me I've been divorced, pew pew, I don't waste no time. I don't even check and see if she was the one initiated or not or what happened. I just be like, pew, gone. You know, I had to talk to a woman who divorced her husband. I think she had 2 or 3 kids with this guy. And she was like, he had another woman and he wouldn't stop sleeping with her. I was like, you divorced your husband with multiple kids. You're over 50 something years old because he was sleeping with another woman. And I was like, yeah, it probably hurt. Uh, he probably didn't tell the truth. And you probably weren't expecting that, however you found out or whatever. But you too late in the game with a family to be running around here over 50 with multiple kids thinking you finna jump right back in the front of the line. You should have kept your husband and worked something out where he had to be discreet, respectful, or something, you know, up until your kids got grown. And then maybe you could have made a decision to be like, just F it. But then you'll be so old, then what's the use, you know? And she was like, yeah, had I would have known, I just got so angry, I would have just stayed married. Y'all, okay, you know. But that's what happens, man. Oh yeah, divorces, man. We ain't gonna stay too long on this, man. Let's just get into what they call unique. Yeah. See, this is what I want to talk about, right? Nobody wants to talk about the widow. They try to call the widow unique. There's nothing unique about a widow. Okay, you take pity on a widow for a short time period, but here's the problem. This is why I do not take pity on widows. For one, uh, I shouldn't be coming in contact with widows at in an area of where they're seeking out another man or dating. See, when they make that decision to seek out another man or to date again or whatever, pity is gone. You step back into the water. So dudes want to call them unique and give them a pass and a walkabout. I don't. I tell them the minute you made a decision to deal with a new man or other men, no, there is no more pity for you. Okay, you decide to take this walk. So they should not be talking about their marriage and their uh, deceased spouse no longer than necessary for you to get to know them. If they continuously do it for a long period of time, you need to dismiss them because you're being compared and that's being put as a measuring template up against you. So I had just went through this with a widow. Um, being around her for so many months, being there for her, doing stuff with her, and she constantly let that word husband slip out of her mouth. And me and her had a conversation about it, and she thanked me for it. Her family got involved in it. Um, then what happens is she decided to go get counseling. But when decided to go get counseling, the counselor's supposed to help her continue on having a conversation me and her had about recognizing that you're not married no more by law, by scripture, and that you should not be saying husband in front of a new man. You know, it's disrespectful to the new man's presence. That was agreed upon. She goes to counseling. The counselor says, no, that's not right. You still are married. And you could say husband, and that guy dated you knowing you were a widow. Well, that's fine and dandy, maybe in the first month or two, but then, hold on real quick. But when you um, been dealing with somebody from last fall to this summer, almost a year, that's a whole different ball game. And my thing with all widows is don't give a widow no pity if she has stepped back out there. That is my take on that. And once she has stepped back out there, if she is continuously talking about her first marriage and her first spouse, while with you, you need to get her gone. Get her out of there. Get her gone. So that's something that needs to be brought up. These guys, man, I'm telling you, they excuse a lot of stuff, man. These content creators and dating coaches, man, they excuse a lot of stuff, man. It is a lot of dirty, murky stuff out here that you got to step over, you know. But the beauty of a woman and JJ and ass and stuff like that is the excuse that these guys want to give you. That you got to deal with them because this is your environment, man. Shit, yeah, right. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. So we cover the single mother, the divorcee. We deal with the widow. What we had? We had poly women. I did a stream on this, man. Hey, listen closely right here, because here comes some real game, right? Now, I want you to recognize a couple things as poly that's being practiced on you that's not being recognized as poly, but it is poly. Dating for women is poly. Women who go, let me see, Was that a Steve Harvey show? Oh no, somebody did a stream or a clip of a woman who went on 100 dates in a year, over 100 dates. Women date multiple men. That's poly. I want you guys to get that. That's why you guys always wind up as one of three or five guys taking a female out on a date. Again, getting into competition, unhealthy competition, unknowingly. Even worse, if you know you a sucker or a simp and you participated in to try to prove yourself the better pick. Being a friend to a woman. Women are practicing poly through practicing friendships. Oh, you guys weren't ready for that one, was you? Y'all weren't ready for that, was you? Come on, man. Look, man. The little old me content creator here who hadn't blown up yet, I'm giving you the real. If y'all hadn't checked my last few streams on dating, the history of it, how I be breaking down there should be no such thing as friends between men and women, that it didn't exist, dating didn't exist, girlfriends didn't exist. I'm giving y'all the real, man. Women are practicing a form of poly through creating friendships with men. That's why I told y'all, when a woman says we can be friends, and then they try to use this little technicality or clause that if we're just friends, if I talk to another guy, have sex with another guy, go on a date with another guy, it's none of your business. That's because not only are they having guys that they go on dates with, talking to and having sex with, but they're constantly making other guys their friends, and they're switching them out interchangeably in this order, in that order, in this rotation. Uh, so as it suits them. So you guys got to understand the forms of poly. It's not just they don't start poly by seeking out relationships with multiple men, having sex with multiple men. They got forms of poly that they've been practicing on y'all. The whole dating game is poly for them. I've been told y'all the dating game is a woman's game. Friendship is a woman's game. Girlfriends is a woman's game. All this stuff is unnatural. Divorcees are unnatural. Single mothers are unnatural. There should be no such thing as a single mother. A mother is supposed to be attached to her family uh, with a father leading the family. There should be no such thing as divorcees, especially particularly the trend here in this country where women predominantly divorce men. It should be that women should be attached to their husbands till death, natural death, or tragedy happens. No foul play, right? A widow should either be a nun or back in full submission to be married to another man, not playing the field, not playing any games, and having her shit in order and knowing her place and respecting the new man's presence and dressing him in his proper place and proper status and proper value. Let me get back into the poly because I was about to cut it short. Let me get back into the poly. The poly that you're more familiar with associated with sex and relationships with multiple people. Uh, I say avoid it altogether because the poly that these women prefer is feminine friendly poly. They don't like polygyny, where the man has the advantage of multiple women in a heterosexual patriarchal type aspect. And then the women favorite poly dynamics also includes the Rainbow Coalition. So that's probably the biggest reason why you should avoid it. Because they control it right now as far as social media groups forming, the actual apps and sites for it, it's not polygyny friendly. It's not for heterosexual men. All right. So you should just avoid poly altogether. Unless you're just like Nick Cannon, you got a shit ton of money and you can set it up that way, minus having all the damn kids. That is the way to go. But don't seek out women who claim to be poly. You're gonna have to convert women to be poly or invoke in them the enticement to be poly through you being a powerful, wealthy, resourceful man. That is the only way. Yeah. But guys, I'm telling y'all, be careful of dating, be careful of friendships, uh, be careful of the companionship and time practices of women. Be careful. And trust and believe if it's not poly, it's something for nothing, or you're getting used. This is your boy Zulu Gullah, man. Like, share, subscribe, comment, man. Get the numbers up, get the members up, man. Let's go.